Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League. We are at game number 45. It is the final game of this schedule block 3, where each team will now have played 9 games once this game is over. 3 different series of 3 games each. So once we finish this game here, then game 46 will move on to new opponents. And teams will try to see what they can do against a differing schedule. They may be tired of seeing each other. I don't know. But usually by the third game of the series, I would think they're tired of seeing each other. But you never know. It is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. Toronto enters the game at 3-5. Kansas City 5-3. Kauffman Stadium is the location. Singles are pretty good. 1-16 left, 1-19 right. But home runs not that good. 1-4 left, 1-7 right. We got a couple of right-handers on the mound. We got, I guess it's pronounced Bowden Francis for the Blue Jays. He'll be making his first appearance of the replay, and Alec Marsh of the Royals making his first appearance of the replay. As we're getting into the 5th starters now in some of these rotations, as each of the 4 starters that started have pitched 2 games apiece and not ready to give the top starter his 3rd start just yet. So we're going with the 5th starters in this one. And Alec Marsh, I know nothing about Alec Marsh. He was 9-9 with 25 starts, so he should get 8 starts in this replay. 9-9 with a 453 earned run average real world. Of course, this is his first start here, so he has no prior record. He is a 0 hold, and Salvador Perez is a -2 arm for a -2 hold, as it would turn out. Hello, Tim. Good to see you. I do need to get into the Strat computer. I have the lineup already done in the computer for Toronto. Haven't done it for Kansas City, so I need to make those changes real quick so that we can get this game going. And I don't have a problem where I got a guy hitting out a turn on the score sheet compared to what the computer has. I want to be consistent and make sure that we don't have any snafus. I don't need that. I want this to be a smooth transition as possible. Let's see, your Renfro is in right, hitting 5th. And then we have Massey, the second baseman. He will hit 6th. Miguel Garcia 7th. Melendez, the DH, will bat 8th. There's the DH. And batting 9th will be the center fielder, rather, Kyle Isbell. So now we're straight. Everything is everything, as they say. And we are about ready to get going once this thing pops up for me. So there we go. Now we've got it straight. And oddly enough, or ironically enough, however you want to look at it, hello, Ernest. Hello, Dr. D. Ironically, if you want to look at it, the hero from the real life ALCS game last night, George Springer, will lead off in this one. He had a subpar 2024, only hitting 220 with 19 home runs. So he's going to see what he can do here. On the replays, hitting 194 and 31 at bats, 1 homer and 2 driven in. Oh, we got hop and dice. So I was getting ready to say we're underway from Kauffman Stadium, but we got a hop and dice. There we go. 5-7 Marsh. 1-3 is a double, but that's a 7, so that's going to be a fly to center. And that's 1 away. Decide to not use the standard red, white, and black. Decide to go with Royal and Blue Jay colors. And now, next batter up, Spencer Horowitz. I really know nothing about Spencer Horowitz. I have no idea about Spencer Horowitz. Couldn't tell you anything about him. Except I know on the 2024 season, he had 328 at-bats, hit 265. Haven't heard of the guy, though. He's only had 1 at-bat in the replay. It was a recent call-up. He had a pinch hitting appearance, and that was it. This is his first start. 6-9. The injury chances on Marsh are 6-12, and on Francis are 6-11. That's a 6-9, however, against a lefty, and that's trouble. 1-10 is a home run. That's a 15. It'll be a double for Spencer Horowitz. Spencer Horowitz with a 1-out double. 1-out double for Horowitz. He doesn't run well, so he will not be held. And here comes the MVP of the 2025 ALCS, Vladimir Guerrero. And just a update for you, first game of that World Series is Friday night. So that means Saturday afternoon at noon, I'll be replaying that game from Friday night in History Maker Baseball using as played lineups, as roster, everything. See how close that History Maker Baseball can come to recreating that. A little bit different than trying to pre-play it. I want to use the exact lineups. I want to give the History Maker engine the best chance of giving what I think is a realistic result. And these are cards I created using their creation book and their formulas. So hopefully they're pretty accurate. A little bit of, I had to look at the stats a little bit and kind of make some gestures, but they're pretty close, I would say. All right, his 4-7, and that's going to be a walk right there. So that is a walk. And now we got first and second with one out for DH Justin Turner. Turner hitting 261 on the replay, a homer and 4 driven in. Double play is in order, though, if Marsh can get a ground ball. 2-7, and he gets a fly ball to center field. That'll be out number 2. And that will send us to Dalton Varsho, center fielder. Varsho hitting 310 on the replay, no homers, 6 driven in. In the 24 season, he only hit 214. He had a rough year as well. That's why the Blue Jays came in last place last year. Their worst to first connection from 24 to 25. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So the double by Horowitz doesn't produce any runs. Marsh gets out of it. Go to the bottom of the first. It's Toronto 0, and the Kansas City Royals will be coming to bat. And again, another guy I'd never heard of before, Bowden Francis or Bowden Francis. I'm assuming it's Bowden Francis. 8-5. He only had 13 starts, so he's projected to get 4 starts in this replay as a 5th starter. So that's what he's doing here. He's kind of filling in the gap when the other starters are tired and need a day off. So Bowden Francis steps up. He has not appeared in the replay so far, so it's his first outing. Real world is 8-5 with a 3.30 ERA. And he'll be facing Dayron Blanco of the Royals, left fielder. He's hitting 250 on the replay, no homers, 2 driven in. That's a 6-9. Remember, 6-11 is his injury chance. 6-9 is a ground ball to third, and that's 1 away. And what I'll probably do in the next game in this replay where we start the new teams playing each other is I'll go back to an empty score sheet and do the rest rolls and everything on camera so you can see that in operation again instead of doing it ahead of time. All right, here's Bobby Witt. Witt hitting 419 on the replay and 31 at bats. No homers, 3 driven in. He hit 332 real world. That's a 211, and that's going to be a hit by pitch. So Bobby Witt Jr. gets plunked by Bowden Francis. And let's see if Witt can go anywhere. Francis is a -4 hold. Jansen, the backup catcher who's catching this game, is a +2 arm. So that makes it a -2. So that would be a 1-13 if he got the lead. So that's still a reasonable chance, 65%. So 2 through 6, and he gets the lead. He does not, but that's a 2. Chance of a balk on Bowden Francis. His balk rating's a 4. And no balk. So, but that means Witt cannot establish a good lead, so he will hold. And here comes perhaps the, I don't know the right word for it. I had a thought in my mind, now it went blank, but kind of the folk hero maybe is the way I'm looking at it. Vinny Pasquantino. I just like that name, Vinny Pasquantino. And Vinny is hitting 292 on, 292 on the replay and 24 bats, a homer and 5 driven in. He hit 262 real world. Oh, I've already done that for the lead, so I don't need that again. Vinny, 2-7, and that's going to be a pop out to second base. If it's a clutch at bat, he would have gotten a hit, but we're not in that situation, so he just pops it out to second. And if you're able to stop by tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock, we will have the 1987 American League next game in the replay from Yankee Stadium, the Seattle Mariners and the New York Yankees. Mike Moore will be taking on Rick Rhoden in that matchup from Yankee Stadium. Here's Salvi Perez. He's hitting 286 on the replay with 1 homer and 5 driven in. He hit 271 real world. Francis to Perez, 6-7. That's a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman was holding Witt, so he is going to get a bump up to a 5E10. He's going to lose one on his range because he's responsible for holding the runner. So he's a 5E10 now. That's a 13. Let's see if that makes a difference. 5 and a 13. 5 and a 13 is a G3 without the pound sign. So he got a break there. That 13 makes it a G3 only. Would have been here, he'd have gotten through for a hit for being responsible for holding the runner. But as it is, just a G3. That's an 8, and he's an E10. That shouldn't be a problem. It is not. So Horowitz makes the play, and that's going to end the inning. And if anybody grew up watching the comedy, I call it action. I maybe call it action comedy. I don't know, of the WWF wrestling. There was a character named Barry Horowitz that used to pat himself on the back. He had a handprint on the back of his shoulder because he always wanted to pat himself on the back for being so good. And so every time I see Horowitz, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. If you never watched that, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you have, you'll know who I'm talking about. Barry Horowitz. I don't think he ever won a match, but he was always patting himself on the back. Had a big handprint on the back of his T-shirt. All right, so starting the top of the second, and like I said earlier in another video, I was mispronouncing this guy's name. I was calling him Barger, but when I listened to the game last night, they're pronouncing it Barger. It's a soft G. So it's Addison Barger. He's up. He's hitting 167 on the replay. Just 6 at bats, so limited duty. Hit 197 real world. So Addison Barger. 4-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to second base. And that's handled by the second baseman, Massey. 1 away. And that brings up Davis Schneider, the left fielder. Schneider is 0 for 9 on the replay. You're waiting for his first hit. And he hit 191 real world. And, of course, in my 1970/1980 teenage TV viewing, anytime I see this name Schneider, I think of One Day at a Time. The maintenance man on One Day at a Time. Pat Harrington, I think, was the actor's name. 2-9 for Schneider. Struck him out. First strikeout. And that'll bring up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Kiner-Falefa is hitting 160 on the replay. No homers and a run driven in. Junior. Okay, thank you, Ernest. He's actually junior. Okay. 112, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. So Alex Marsh, whoever he is pitching 2 shutout innings. How about that? We go to the bottom of the second, no score. Game number 45 out of 270, which I will try to complete this project by the end of February. That's my goal, end of February. So that in March I can start the new project. All right, here's Hunter Renfroe leading things off. Renfroe hitting 269, 2 homers and 2 runs batted in on the replay. Against Francis, 3-4. That's a ballpark single check going for the first time to Kauffman Stadium. That's a 19, so very friendly for singles for Kauffman Stadium. And we'll see if Renfroe, no, he's not a runner at all, so he will hold right there. So that'll bring up Michael Massey. Massey on the replay hitting 462 and 13 at bats. So he's been killing it. 2 homers, 10 driven in, but just 13 at bats. He hit 259 and 332 at bats. So, all right, here is Mr. Massey. 6-5 left-handed, ground ball shortstop X. They were not holding Renfroe on, so the shortstop in this case, Kiner-Falefa, will keep his 3E14 rating. 3 and a 13 might be a double play chance. 3 and a 13, nope, just a G2, so it's a fielder's choice. That's a 9. And Kiner-Falefa is an E14. There is no 9, so we get a 6-4 fielder's choice. And Massey will take over as the new runner at first base. And he's no threat to run either. Here's Michael Garcia hitting 314 on the replay, a homer and four driven in. Francis, 312 to Garcia, and that's going to be a walk. That'll put 2 on with 1 out. That's the first walk issued by Francis. He also hit a batter. So a little bit of control problems early on. First and second. 1 out for MJ Melendez. He is the designated hitter. He's hitting 194 on the replay. 3 homers, 6 driven in. He hit 206 real world. MJ Melendez. It's 4-2, and that's a split chance. 1 to 7's a single. That's a 5. It's going to load the bases. So the bases are in advance. That's a fly out to center field, but in super advance, we drop down here, and the double die fit right in. It's going to load the bases with 1 out. First serious threat of the game now by the Royals, and it's Kyle Isbell, the center fielder. He only hit 229 real world with 8 home runs. On the replay, he's hitting 211 with a homer and 3 driven in. And the Blue Jays are back for the double play. They'll try to turn 2. 4-3, and that's a ground ball first base X. That's to Vladdy. He's a 3E14. Let's see if they can turn the double play. 3 and a 4 is not going to cut it. 3 and a 4. It's going to be a single 1 star. That's an 11, and he's an E14. There's a 12 there, but no 11. So will be a single. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and the Kansas City Royals take a 1-0 lead on the Blue Jays. And back to the top of the order for Dayron Blanco, or Dayron Blanco, however it's pronounced. Still looking for that double play. That's a 2, chance for Balker pass ball. Looking at a pass ball chance on Jansen, it's only a 1. So no pass ball. 111 for Blanco. That's a ballpark single check. It's going to turn out really good. 19. Friendly singles ballpark is Kauffman Stadium. Again, ballpark singles only 1 base advancement. So it's an RBI single. Everybody else moves up 90 feet, but it's 2-0 Kansas City. Still only 1 out for Bobby Witt, who was hit by the pitch last time up. And now the infield for the Jays is kind of turning around. They'll go play in, see if that changes their luck. They're going to play in, not back for the double play. They're playing in. 1-5, and it doesn't matter where they're playing. 1 to 7's a home run, and that is a 7. It is a grand salami for Bobby Witt Jr. Look at it again, 1-5 against the right-hander. A 1 to 7's a home run, and that is a 7. So for Bobby Witt, he gets his first home run of the replay. He hit 32 of them real world. This one is a grand salami, and he gets the ultimate payback for being hit by the pitch in his first at bat. Not that Francis did it on purpose, but you could look at it that way. And that is 6 runs in the inning. Home run number 1 on the replay. RBIs number 4, 5, 6, and 7 for Bobby Witt. And Francis not going to be long for this game the way it's going. Here's Vinny Pasquantino. 6-0 Kansas City. Whoa, we got hopping dice again. Boy, that's some hopping stuff here. I was watching RJ earlier, and he had hopping dice problems too, and he was talking about looking forward to using the D8s that the advanced game uses. But let's see here. We got a 6-11, and that's the entry check on Francis. So we'll resolve the play, but it could very well be an injury. So 6-11 to the left-hander is a strikeout. He will strike out Pasquantino for out number 2, but he could be injured. So we'll go to our injury chart. And see if he's going to be injured. And he might be ready to come out of the game anyway, just because he's getting battered and bruised. But we'll check the injury. For the pitcher, a 1 to 6, he can stay in the game. Anything else higher than that, he's going to miss some time. Oh, it's a 19. Boy, that's terrible. So he's going to miss 10 games because it's 1/3 of this. So he's going to miss 10 games. So Francis will be on the shelf for a while. He won't make his appearance as a 5th starter for a while. So he is out 10 games. And the Blue Jays already are without Bichette for 10 games because of injuries. So now they got to go to the minor leagues again and find somebody else to take it, to fill in. Right now it's a bullpen game for the Blue Jays. And I think all of their bullpen arms are 1 inning. Yeah, they're all 1 inning performers. So they're going to see who they can go to here. They're going to go to Trevor Richards. See if he can at least finish this inning and give him maybe one more. So Trevor Richards is on, and Francis will be injured. So we'll do the numbers on Francis, and he's going to give up 6 runs on 5 hits. All these runs are earned. There were no errors. He walked 1, struck out 1. And he ends up going 1 2/3 innings. That's not exactly going to help the ERA. In fact, his ERA right now is 32.40. So not good. So they will go to the bench or go to the bullpen, whatever you want to call it. And they'll get Trevor Richards. Richards is on. And we'll get his numbers on the replay. Basically, this is, like I said, a bullpen game all the way. So Richards on the replay, 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 5 walks in those 3 innings, and 1 strikeout. And what the Blue Jays will probably do is not only bring up another pitcher for Francis, probably a bullpen pitcher, but if they use up another bullpen here, they may make another move and bring up another bullpen arm so they have somebody fresh for the next game. They don't want to wear out the whole bullpen in one game. So here's Salvador Perez. That's why it's a demolition league. You don't hold back on injuries. 4-6. That's a base on balls, so they're going to bat around. So we change the score sheet through every inning for the bat around. As Perez is on, that brings up Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe started the inning with a seemingly innocent single. I think it was a ballpark single, if I'm not mistaken. 6-8. Let me check Trevor Richards, make sure he's not in. I don't think a 6-8 is going to be his injury, but we'll check it. Let's check the extra pitchers. Richards. Nope, he is a 12, 6-12 for an injury. So he has a 12 for his injury factor. So 6-8 is going to be okay. And that's a strikeout to end the inning. But 6 runs, a 6-pack for the Royals, capped off by the grand slam from Bobby Witt Jr. And we go to the third. Is Kansas City comfortably in front 6-0. They have given Alex Marsh an incredibly big lead to protect. All he's got to do is hang on. His fatigue is 5, so all he can do is pitch 5 innings, he can get the win. Here's Danny Jansen. It's his first at bat. Most of the Royals have batted twice already. Some, almost all of them have batted twice, and Jansen hasn't hit yet. Jansen is hitless. He's 0 for 4 on the replay. He hit 205 real world. That's a 2-8 for Jansen. He will ground it to short where Witt is there, and there's 1 away. So the Blue Jays are in danger of dropping to 3-6 And Kansas City will get to 6-3, and they'll be right on the tail of the Dodgers and the Twins. Here's Springer. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short. Witt will take that as well and take care of it. 2 down. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't get close games. It's just the way it works. Game this morning was really close, extra innings, if I remember correctly, but this one is not going to fall in that pattern. Here's Horowitz, 2-6, and he's going to walk. So he doubles, and now he walks. And that'll send up Vladdy Guerrero. Oh, got too many dice going through there. Vladdy. 6-9. 6-9 for Marsh. His injury is 6-12. 6-9, 1-19 is a home run. That is gone. Vladimir Guerrero, a 2-run home run. And maybe don't count the Blue Jays out yet. It's 6-2. For Vladdy, that is his first home run of the replay. RBI's 2 and 3. He hit 30 home runs real world. But it does cut the lead to 6-2. And here's Justin Turner. 3-8 for Turner is a 1-5 single, and the double die's a 1, so it's a base hit. So Marsh may not be able to hold out for 5 innings to get that win. There's Dalton Varsho. That's a 6-3 left-handed. Ground ball pitcher X. Marsh is a 3 E44. So that could be troublesome. 3 E44. 3-7 for a pitcher. Should get to it. Might just be a G3. I don't know. 3-7. Yep, it's a G3. His only play is to first, but we got a rare play. So we're going to the G3 rare plays on my beta rare playbook. The Strat-O-Matic default rare play on a G3 says batter hits a line shot that hits the mound, deflects the fielder, makes the play for the out. Ho hum. Let's see what this G3 rare play says. Batter grounds out with all runners advancing with less than 2 outs. First baseman loses count of outs and tosses ball into the dugout. Runner gets another base. So there you go. But that was the third out. That was the third out. So that's not going to come into play. Since it was not the third out, or since it was the third out, that's not going to happen. It'll just be a 1-3 ground out. But it could have happened. It definitely could have happened. Just didn't. But what did happen was a 2-run home run from Vladdy Guerrero to cut the lead to 6-2. As we go to the bottom of the third. And Richards back out. And he had only faced 2 batters last inning. We're facing Michael Massey. Hello, Canadian. Good to see you. Massey, 2-3, and that is a ballpark single check. It's a 1-16. That's an 18, though, so that will not be a hit. That will turn into a line out to second base. So Toronto catches a break there. And here's Michael Garcia. That's a 2-11, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. Handled once again by Horowitz. He's taking care of the first 2 outs and patted himself on the back while he did it. And here is MJ Melendez, designated hitter. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. So again, Horowitz has another chance. He's a 4E10. 4-16, he'll get to that. E10 and a 12. E10 and a 12. He should get to that also and make that play, I would think. E10, yep, there's no 12 there. So Horowitz takes care of all 3 outs. And we'll see if that does it for Richards or not. They might try to push him one more inning. We'll see. Possible. So we go to the fourth, 6-2 ball game. And Addison Barger is your batter. 1-8 against Marsh, and that is a strikeout. So for Marsh, that is his second strikeout of the ball game. Sends up Davis Schneider. One, two, and that's hit by pitch plus injury, so Schneider might very well be injured. Hit by pitch plus a possibility of an injury. And again, we go to our injury chart. Hey, Colin. Injury chart for Schneider. Right over here, 1 to 4, he will stay in the game. 5 or 6, he only misses this game. Anything higher than that, he may miss some time. That is a 2, so he's going to remain in the game. He will not be injured. So Schneider shakes off the hit by pitch and stays in the game. And that'll bring up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Interestingly enough, for Kiner-Falefa, he played the 2024 season with Toronto. Started 2025 with Pittsburgh, and now it's been traded back to Toronto, so he's on the World Series roster most likely for the Blue Jays. Get a 4-5, and that's going to be a strikeout for Marsh. That's out number 2, and his second strikeout of the inning, third of the game. And that takes us to Danny Jansen, the catcher. .110 for Jansen, lines out to first. Vinny Pasquantino makes the catch, and the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the fourth, and Richards will come out because he has been effective. He gave up a leadoff walk, first batter, but he's retired 4 in a row. So they're going to see if they can milk another inning out of him to help that bullpen. And Kyle Isbell, the batter. 210, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. Again, 1 to 16, but that's a 17. So he's going to line it to second. And again, fourth put out in a row, or fourth out made by Horowitz in a row. And you know he's wearing his arm out, patting himself on the back for that. He's going to probably tell Toronto to make him a personalized jersey with his handprint on the back. Here's Dayron Blanco, 5'11". 5'11" is a ballpark blast, and that's a 1. So you know that's going to be gone. Dayron Blanco, a home run off of Trevor Richards. With that double die as a 1 on the ballpark result, and he does have normal power. So Blanco hits his first home run of the replay, RBI number 4. He hit 4 home runs at 120 at-bats in the real season. So the Blue Jays now trail 7-2 after that home run. And here is Bobby Witt Jr. He hit the grand slam in the second inning that blew this thing open. 4-5, and that's a strikeout for Richards. That's his second strikeout so far. They're going to try to get one more inning out of Richards and see if they can at least get him through the fourth and save that bullpen for the rest of the last 4 innings. Here's Vinny. He is 0 for 2. He's popped up to second and struck out. It's a 2-3 for Vinny. It's another, 2-3 is a hit by pitch. So I don't know if these are retaliations. That's the third hit by pitch of the game. So the warnings have been issued now by the umpires. Next hit by pitch is going to be an automatic ejection. We've had 3 hit by pitches in this game, and Vinny didn't like it. I can tell you that. Richards knows he's just about done, so I think he doesn't care. So here is Salvador Perez, 6'5", and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's going to be Kiner-Falefa. He's a 3E14, 3 and a 9. Should get to that, you would think. 3 and a 9 is E3, so he barely gets to it. That's a 10, and he is an E14. And there's no 10. So Kiner-Falefa makes the play to end the inning. And that'll do it for Trevor Richards. Pitched pretty well all in all. 2 1/3 innings for Richards. Giving up just the 1 run, which was the homer. In fact, it was his only hit that he allowed. Struck out 2, didn't walk anybody, but he did hit a batter. So, Blue Jays will go their bullpen for the 5th inning. Not sure what's going to be yet. We'll figure it out. This is the fatigue inning for Alec Marsh. All he's got to do is get through this inning, and he will qualify for the win, assuming that Toronto doesn't come all the way back, which I would assume they wouldn't, but you never know. Dice can be funny. So top of the fifth is George Springer, top of the order. We get a 2-9 for Springer, and that's a base hit to left field. So Springer, a leadoff single. Normally you think about running here, but down 7-2, I just don't know if you want to do that. So they're going to hold him on and let Horowitz have a crack at it. 2-6 for Horowitz. He walks. And now one more base runner, and Marsh will reach fatigue. So now the Kansas City bullpen's on alert. And they have Carlos Hernandez loosening their bullpen. Right-hander, just in case Marsh should stumble here. Here's Vladdy. He hit a home run, 2-run homer his last time up. If he hits one now, it's a 3-run homer, and Toronto's right back in the game. Marsh trying to eke through this inning to qualify for the win. 4-6, and it's a strikeout for Marsh. Big one there, his third strikeout of the game. And that takes us to Justin Turner, the designated hitter. He's 1 for 2. It's a 5-8, and it's a ground ball second base X. We are looking at second baseman Massey. He's a 3-6. 3-19, that's a possible double play. 3-19 is a G1. And that is a 7, and he is an E6. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. It is not. So it will be a double play, 4-6-3, turned by the Royals. And now Marsh will qualify for that win. And that's going to be it for Marsh. They're not going to push the issue any further. He's going to go 5 innings. But the pitcher's best friend helps him out and gets him out of the jam. So we go to the 6th inning. And we'll get the full numbers on Marsh from the Strat computer just because I'm being lazy right now. So I'll go to the computer and get his full line score. He's going to go 5 innings, give up 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. And Marsh would get his first win of the season if this holds up. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, and the Kansas City Royals will need a new pitcher. I'm sorry, Toronto, rather, will need a new pitcher. Kansas City will, too, when it comes around later on. So they will go to Yimi Garcia, a right-hander. He will come in to pitch for Toronto. Yimi Garcia. And he'll be facing Renfroe, Massey, and the other Garcia, Michael Garcia. So we'll bring in on the computer, we will bring in Mr. Yimi Garcia, get his numbers on the replay, see how he's doing so far in the early going. It's 1-0 with a save, but his ERA is 11.57. 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout. With a high ERA of 11.57. 2-11 for Renfroe. It's ballpark single check, and that's going to be a base hit. So the hit parade continues for the Royals. That is their 7th hit of the ball game. Here's Michael Massey. That's a 2. Chance for balk or pass ball. Balk rating, but Garcia is a 0, so no balk. 4-3 lefty. It's ground ball pitcher X. Garcia is a 2E0. So we know he's not going to make an error. We're just going to see if he can turn the double play or even get to this. He's a 2. And as a pitcher, if we look at the chart, range factor of a 2 for a pitcher, to get the double play, he needs a 13 or higher. He needs at least a 3 to make the play. 1 or a 2, it's a base hit. That's a 10, so it will be a fielder's choice, G2. So it's a fielder's choice. It's going to go 1 to 6 on the fielder's choice. And Massey is your new runner. So couldn't quite get the double play that they wanted. They do get the lead runner, 1 away. And that will send up Michael Garcia. So Garcia against Garcia, 4-3. Same thing. Ground ball pitcher X. We're looking at it again. He's a 2 and a 7. So they can't get a break on this D20. 2 and a 7 is a G3. His only play is the first base. For the out, Massey will take second base. So 2 down, runner in scoring position now for MJ Melendez in a clutch situation. And Melendez in the clutch against right-handers is rated completely neutral. 6'6", left-handed, struck him out. So Yimi Garcia does his job. He's going to go 1 inning, give up a hit, get a strikeout, nothing else. So we played 5 here in Kansas City. And the Royals will bring in their new pitcher, Carlos Hernandez, taking Marsh's place. As Marsh went the first 5. Carlos Hernandez, a +9 hold, so that's never a good thing. But they're ahead 7-2, so the likelihood of Toronto trying to run is not very good. It'll be Varsho, Barger, and Snyder due up for the Blue Jays. So we'll get the totals or the up to the replay stats on Mr. Hernandez. See how he's doing. On the replay, Hernandez is 0-0 with no saves, a 1.93 earned run average, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. He's going to face Varsho. 3-6 for Varsho. That's a trouble. 1-12 is a home run. That's a 5. So Gary Varsho greets Hernandez with a home run. That is his first of the replay for Dalton Varsho. Home run number 1. He hit 18 of them in real world. Cuts the lead to 7-3, and here comes Addison Barger. Two 4, and that is a ground ball to second. Easily handled by Massey. 1 away. And that's going to send up Davis Schneider. Hopefully Toronto makes it a closer game Friday night against the Dodgers than they're doing it here. All right, here's a 3-4 for Schneider, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-19, that's a base hit. Davis Schneider with a base hit, courtesy of Royal Stadium. Brings up Kina Falefa. Six for Carlos Hernandez, and that's a pop up to short. And that is out number 2. So 2 down for Danny Jansen, the catcher. Schneider at first, not going anywhere. 2-9, and that's a ground ball to second. That will end the inning. So the home run off the bat of Varsho is the only damage done to Hernandez. He has a 2 fatigue rating, so he will pitch next inning as well. He'll stay in there to pitch the 7th. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Toronto will need a new pitcher. Coming up for the Royals is Isbel, Blanco, and Witt, lefty, righty, righty. So I think we're back to another right-hander for the Blue Jays, and it will be Chad Green. Chad Green. And Green in the real world was 4-6, a 321 average, and 17 saves. But I don't think you get much of a save chance here in this game. But he's going to get the pitching inning anyway. So Chad Green will pitch. See what he can do. And he'll be facing Kyle Isbel, number 9 hitter for the Kansas City Royals. 1-8, and that's going to be a walk. First thing he does is walk the batter. Leadoff walk to Isbel. Green's a +3 hold, so it makes him a +5. And so Isbell might be looking to run here. +5. That would be almost automatic. He needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it, so he will hold. And here's Dayron Blanco. It's a 3-4 for Blanco, and that's a ground ball to short. There's a plus there, but that's irrelevant with the infield double play depth. And in the super advanced game, it's only for advanced. And that doesn't, unless the infield was in completely, which they were not. So it is going to be a 6-4-3 tailor-made double play. 2 quick outs, and that will take us to Bobby Witt. He's been hit by a pitch, he's hit a grand slam, and he struck out. 3-3, and that's a split chance. 1 to 5 is a single. That's a 3, so it's a base hit for Witt, and he's going to be looking to run, or at least try to get the lead. Needs a 2 through 6 to get the lead. And he gets it, but that's a 1. He might be picked off. His getting back safely number is 13. So 1 to 13, he gets back. 14 or higher, he's picked off. He gets back, but he can't establish a good lead now. So he will stay at first base for Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny, 6-7, and that's a strikeout for Green, and that's going to do it for Green. He's going to go his 1 inning. Not give up anything. He does give up a hit and a walk, but nothing else. Did get a strikeout. No runs. So we've completed 6 innings here in Kansas City. Score still 7-3. Favor of the Royals. Hernandez back for his 2nd inning of work. And he'll be facing the top of the order. Springer is 1 for 3. 6-8 for Hernandez, and that's a fly to center. I'll double check and make sure that's not an injury chance for Hernandez. I don't think it is, based on his. We only had 30 innings pitched, so you never know. Let's see here. Carlos Hernandez. He is a 5. So let's check out what the 5 represents as far as injuries go. Find my little rule book here that has that information in it. So on injury chances, a 5 is a 6-8, so that is an injury chance for Hernandez. So he is susceptible to injury, but we'll make the play first. So he'll be facing, it was actually Horowitz he would be facing, I would guess. Oh, we had that bat for a Springer, so it was resolved already. It's fly to center. So we're going to resolve whether he can stay in the game or not. So we're looking at Carlos Hernandez, and he could be leaving for the Royals. He could be injured. So we'll check Hernandez and see what he can do. He needs a 1 to 6 to stay in the game. 10, he's got to come out. He will miss, according to this 5, so he's going to miss like 3 games. We cut these in thirds, so it's actually going to miss 2 games. So he will miss 2 games. So Carlos Hernandez is going to be out this game plus 2 more. He'll be out 2 games. So I got a lot of maneuvering to do once this game is over with bullpens from different teams, bench players. Good thing I got a lot of extra players. So he is injured, so he will leave. He's going to go an inning and a third. And he's going to give up 1 run on the 2 hits. And that's it. No walks, no strikeouts. So who's going to come in for Kansas City now is the question. Due up is Horowitz, a lefty, but then you got righties and righties. So they will go to John Schreiber, a right-hander. Schreiber, you're a pitcher. He's a -1 hold to go with the -2 there from Perez is a -3. So Schreiber will be coming on to face Mr. Horowitz, as Hernandez had to leave the game. So we get the numbers on Schreiber on the replay. Where are you? There you are. Schreiber is 0-0 with no saves and an ERA of 0. 5 innings pitched, no runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Spencer Horowitz with 1 out and the base is empty. It's a 1-5, and he's going to strike out Horowitz. 2 down. And that's going to take us to Vladimir Guerrero. 410, and that is a catcher X, so we're looking at Perez. He's a 3E1. 3 and a 1. That's interesting. I think that might be an infield hit. A little dribbler that might go for a hit. 3 and a 1, W/S. Nobody's on base, so there can't be any kind of wild pitches or anything. It's not a 17, so it can't be an error. So it's W/S, and that says with no runner on, the batter hits a squib single. So Vladimir Guerrero, matching him chugging along, beating out a squib single. He just did it. So Guerrero is on with a 2-out single, and here is Justin Turner. 2-4 for Turner, and that's a ground ball back to the mound. That's going to end the inning. And that's going to be it for Schreiber. He goes his 1 inning. Gives up, actually, he's going to go 2/3 of an inning. And he gives up a hit, nothing else, with the strikeout. So we go the 7th inning stretch here in Kansas City with the score, the Royals 7 and Toronto 3. And we need a new pitcher for Toronto in this bottom half of the 7th. Up scheduled is Perez, Renfroe, and Massey, 2 righties and a lefty. So we'll see what Toronto wants to do out of their pen. They may go to a lefty this time. We're going to go to Genesis Cabrera. So Genesis Cabrera will be coming on for the Blue Jays. We'll get the numbers on Cabrera. Genesis Cabrera is 0-1 with no saves, an ERA of 16.20. 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. So Cabrera has been struggling, but this is the kind of game you bring him in when it's not really a high leverage situation. So Cabrera will be facing Salvi Perez. 2-6 for Perez. That's a 1 for a double. Anything else is a single, and Perez will get himself a base hit. Leadoff single for Salvi Perez. He's no threat to run. He will hold. And here's Hunter Renfroe. 2-9, and that's a strikeout for Cabrera. So Genesis with a little bit of an invisible touch there on that strikeout. Here's Michael Massey, lefty on lefty. 3-11, and that's a fly to left, 2 down. And that'll send up Michael Garcia. 1-2, and that's a Lomax to third base, but there's already 2 outs, so it's just a line out. And that's going to end the inning. As Cabrera would say, as Genesis would say, that's all. All right, a single, nothing else, and a strikeout. We go to the 8th. Score still 7-3. And that was a line out to third. All right, top of the 8th, and the Royals will go to Will Smith out of the bullpen. As he will try to get jiggy with it. He is a +4, -2, so that's a +2. Will Smith will be facing Varsho, Barger, and Schneider. Could get a pinch hitter for Barger. He is a lefty. They may want to pinch hit for him. We'll see. Will Smith, we're in the 8th inning, so obviously pinch hitting is in vogue now. So Will Smith comes his way on. See what he can do. Facing Varsho, 2-9. That's a strikeout. So he starts out with a strikeout. Good start for Will Smith. And now let's see if they want to pinch hit for Barger. Toronto on their bench. Do they have any good righties is the question. Not really. I don't think. Take a look here. Not really. Well, they're going to go to Leo Jimenez. How about that? They'll pinch hit with Leo Jimenez. Jimenez only had 179 at bats, hit 229. So Jimenez will pinch hit here in the 8th. And then let's see, they're taking place of Barger, who's at 3rd, but I think kind of Falefa will move to 3rd. So he will move to 3rd. And Jimenez will take over at short in the bottom of the 8th. All right, so Leo Jimenez will get the call to pinch hit against Will Smith. We'll get the numbers on Jimenez. As Toronto is trying to do whatever they can to try to generate some runs. And actually, this is Jimenez's first, I can't even say that right, his first at bat. He's a recent call-up because of some injuries. In fact, he got called up because of the injury to Bichette. That's why we brought him up, because he plays short. So that's why he's there. 110 against the left-hander, and he's hit by the pitch, so that's gone. Will Smith is gone. We said it back here when we had this hit by pitch. It was a warning issued. Next hit by pitch, he was gone, so Will Smith is gone. He got 2 jiggy with it as he hits him. So a third of an inning with a strikeout. And that's going to be it for Will Smith. Jimenez will reach. And before Davis Snyder, we'll need a new pitcher for Kansas City. Probably weren't expecting to use another pitcher right now, but they don't have any choice. So due up is going to be Schneider, the righty. But they got some good lefties on the bench. How do they want to play this? Let's see, make sure who's got the rest. I don't want to overuse somebody before I get ahead of myself here. Now, we're going to use Chris Stratton, right-hander. Oh, see, now the game, this is where the computer screws up. It won't let me take him out because I've got the 3-batter rule on. I should have removed that from the computer. So, how do we play this? I'm going to have to bring in a left-hander. Boy, I don't know how I'm going to play this. I guess I'm going to have to supersede the ejection and just let Will Smith keep pitching. For one more batter at least. He's going to face one more batter, then he'll be ejected. Because the computer has not let me take him out. The 3-batter rule. I was wondering why it wouldn't take on that change, and now I know why, because of the 3-batter rule. So Will Smith is going to get a reprieve to face one more batter, but he's going to come out after that. He's going to face Davis Schneider. That's a 6-10. I wonder if that's an injury chance on Smith. I don't care if it is or not, because he shouldn't be pitching, so I'm not going to penalize him. 6-10 is a ground ball third base X. Third baseman for Kansas City is Garcia. He's a 1E16. You know he's going to get to it. Checking the E16 and a 9 for third baseman. E16. There's no 9, so good play. Actually, no, it's a double. We got a double play chance. I didn't even check that. I got to roll the D20 because I forgot a guy was on first base. That's a 3. So a 1 and a 3 is just going to be a G2. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. So it's going to go 5-4 on the fielder's choice. And now that will be all for Will Smith. Now we can take him out. So now they will go to the bullpen for Chris Stratton. And now the Strat computer allows it. So I want to go into, I forgot to go in the computer and change that to not allow, or to take off that 3-batter thing. Need to remove that, obviously. So Chris Stratton is on to face Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 2 outs and a runner at first in Schneider. 3-2 for Kiner-Falefa. Split chance, 1-8's a single. That's a 3, so the inning will continue on the base hit from Kiner-Falefa. And that brings up Jansen, but they will pinch hit for Jansen. And they will bring in a left-handed pinch hitter, Dan Vogelbach. Vogelbach will pinch hit. And then Alejandro Kirk will catch the bottom of the 8th. Trying to give Kirk the day off, but they got a chance here to make a move and make something happen. So they're going to bring Vogelbach in to pinch hit. Vogelbach is 0 for 7 on the replay so far. So Vogelbach will pinch hit here in the 8th. And then Kirk will catch in the bottom of the 8th. All right, so Vogelbach is up with 2 on and 2 out in a clutch situation. His column 3 is pretty good, I would say. And he found it, 3-11. It's a walk. Boy, he just missed a 3-run home run, but it's going to be a walk instead. And that's going to load the bases. So Vogelbach does his job. He walks, keeps the inning going for George Springer. And all of a sudden, the tying run is now at the plate in George Springer. 1 long ball here, and we're all tied. Springer trying to get some heroics going here in the 8th. 2-6, and look at this. 2-6 is a 1-10 home run, but that's a 16. It'll still be a double. Still be a double for Springer that will score Schneider and Kiner-Falefa. Don't know if Vogelbach will be able to score. Vogelbach only runs at an 8. 2 outs makes him a 10. Doubles assumed to go to center. -1 arm is a 1-9. So they're going to have to hold him there at third base. But it's a 2-run double off the bat of Springer. Cuts the lead to 7-5. And now the runners are at second and third for Spencer Horowitz, and that's going to be it for Stratton, I think. I think he's faced 3 batters now, so he's going to go. And they're going to bring in left-hander Angel Zerpa to face the left-hander Horowitz. As this game is getting weirder by the minute. Angel Zerpa, a left-hander, coming on to face Horowitz. Unless the Blue Jays want to pinch hit for Horowitz, that's also a possibility. But that leaves in the bullpen only the closer MacArthur is the only one left for the Royals now in the bullpen, unless they want to use one of their starters. So let's see about Horowitz. They do have, well, the only ones they have on the bench are all left-handed, so they're going to stick with Horowitz. Might as well. They will stick with Horowitz. Zerpa is a -1 hold, so it makes him a -3. Not that it matters right now, I don't believe. Second and third. Clutch situation for Horowitz. In a clutch against the lefty, he loses a hit on 3-10. So Zerpa will make his way on. And see what he can do. See if he can get out of this. Tying runs are in scoring position. That's a 1-10, and that's going to be a ballpark single for Horowitz. 1-16, that's a base hit. Horowitz is second hit of the game. That will score Vogelbach. It's a one base single, and that cuts the lead to 7-6. And now we turn it over to Vladimir Guerrero. So Vladdy Guerrero is in. 3 runs in the inning. 1-7 against the left-hander. That's a 1 for a single, or 1 for a double, 2-20 for a single. It's a single 2 stars, and we got ourselves a tie ball game. So, wow, what a comeback by the Blue Jays. RBI single off the bat of Guerrero. We are tied at 7 apiece with a 4-score inning here in the 8th by Toronto. And now here is Justin Turner. 5-9, and that's going to be a fly to right to end the inning. That's going to do it for Zerpa. Zerpa blows the save opportunity. 4 runs for Toronto, and we have ourselves a tie ball game. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Told you that doesn't matter. I was thinking this game was over early on, but the dice had other ideas. And we need to bring in Alejandro Kirk to catch. That'll leave Biggio and Kiermaier as the only bench players remaining for the Blue Jays. And Kiner-Falefa is going to move from shortstop to third base. And Jimenez, who pinch hit, will stay in the game at short. Kirk in there to catch. All right, we're in the bottom of the 8th. And now let's see, with Melendez, look, got some lefties coming up. I wonder if we should have kept Cabrera in the game. Let's see who we got in the bullpen left. See who's left in the bullpen for Toronto. Like I said, it's a bullpen game, so they're kind of on. They got Tim Meza and Romano. So they're going to bring in Meza. Tim Meza will be coming on. 6th pitcher used by Toronto. So each team has used 6 pitchers. Let me go to the computer and fill in the pitching lines for these other pitchers that I didn't finish. And we'll let the computer do all the heavy lifting on that. Will Smith is going to pitch a third of an inning. Actually, 2/3 of an inning we got him for. We got him for 2/3 of an inning. And he's going to give up the run on the strikeout. Let's see here. Then we have Stratton, who didn't get anybody out. He gave up 2 hits and 3 runs were charged to him. Walk and no strikeouts. Zerpa, a third of an inning, 2 hits, no runs. So here we go. Bottom of the 8th, Melendez will be facing Tim Meza, a left-hander. Tim Meza. It only leaves Jordan Romano. He's the last man in the bullpen for Toronto. And he's kind of like their closer. So Tim Meza is coming on to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th. Tim Meza. And he is a +9 hold. That's not good. So Meza will be on. In the replay, Meza is 1-0 with no saves in the area of 9. 3 innings pitched, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. And he will be starting out facing Melendez, a left-hander. So it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup to start things off. 1-8, and it's a ground ball to short. Handled by Witt. 1 down. And here's Kyle Isbell. They really want to keep him in the game. They don't want to lose his defense. 6-4, lefty on lefty. That's a ballpark single check. That's a 1-16, but that's a 19. Boy, what a bad break that was. And so he will hit a fly ball to right field for out number 2. 2 down. We're about to go to the 9th, tied at 7, unless Dayron Blanco does something amazing. 1-3, and that's a 1-4 would have been a solid home run, but this is a 1-3 for a ballpark single. And he does keep the inning going, and he will be looking to get a lead big time. In fact, he's going to run with the lead or without the lead. It really doesn't matter. So 70 gets the lead. So it's a 19, but then the 17 for being held makes him -2 for being held makes him 17, but the +5. So 1-19. The catcher in this case is Alejandro Kirk. So let's see what we got for Alejandro Kirk. I don't even have him over here yet. Let's get his defense. Alejandro Kirk, -2 arm. So that's still not going to matter because of the +9 here. That doesn't change anything. But his T rating is only a 3, so they're going to go ahead and throw through. And he's in there safely. So Blanco with a stolen base. Almost a formality. He is in the leading run in the go-ahead run in scoring position now for Bobby Witt. Witt, chance to drive home another run. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Looking at pass ball, and the pass ball rating on Kirk is a 4. And it is a 4, so it will be a pass ball that will send him to third base. So now he's at third, where he'll score automatically on anything. Hit, error, or whatever. And here's Witt. Mesa to Witt. 310. And that's a single for Bobby Witt. And that's going to score the go-ahead run for Kansas City. They take an 8-7 lead as Bobby Witt comes through with a base hit. And they will go to Jordan Romano out of the bullpen to replace Mesa. He will be the 7th pitcher used by Toronto. Mesa got the first 2 outs easily, but then just kind of fell apart. He's given up 2 hits and a run. He is responsible for Witt as well. I'm sorry, no, we're going to keep Mesa in there to face. I was thinking Pasquantina's the next batter, so they want a lefty in there. My bad. Take that back. We're not going to bring Romano in yet. So Witt's at second base. Or he's not at second base. He's going to steal. Well, this game's just wearing me out. So he can get the lead. 9. He did not get the lead. It gives him a 13. Being held makes him a 9. And the +5 make him a 14. 1-14, he's going to try to steal without the lead. And he's got caught stealing. Wow. So caught stealing, and that will end the inning. So Romano will probably not pitch now unless this game goes extra innings, which I am hoping beyond hope that it does not. All right, so Mesa actually now is going to pitch a third of an inning as Pasquantina made the out. And so he's actually going to go a full inning, not a third of an inning. But the run does score to make it an 8-7 game. And now that means the Royals will bring in their closer, James MacArthur. Book 'em Dano. James MacArthur will be coming on to pitch. And MacArthur will be facing Varsho, Jimenez, and Schneider, scheduled hitters. Go to MacArthur. He's the last available arm out of the bullpen and will be the 7th pitcher used by the Royals. Hello, Mr. RJL. This has been a fiasco of a game. It's been a mess. Kansas City led 6-0 after 2. Toronto comes back with 4 in the 8th to tie it at 6. But then Kansas City run the bottom of the 8th to make it 8-7. 8-7. And now the closer, MacArthur, is going to come on for the Royals. He'll be facing Varsho, Jimenez, and Schneider. We'll see who Toronto has on their bench available. They've used a lot of people already. They have Biggio, who could pinch hit. So they're going to pinch hit Biggio for Jimenez when the time comes. But right now, Varsho will swing away. Start at the top of the 9th, 2-8 for Varsho, and he struck him out. Varsho out on strikes, and now that's going to bring up Kevin Biggio to pinch hit for Jimenez. Kevin Biggio pinch hitting here in the 9th inning. And that will leave Kevin Kiermaier as the only available player left on the Toronto bench. So it will be Kevin Biggio pinch hitting. And he can play third base, so if need be, if it goes to the bottom of the ninth, they'll leave him in the game at third and send Kiner-Falefa back to short where he came from to start the game. Right now, it is Cavan Biggio. He will pinch hit for Mr. Jimenez after Varsho struck out. See what Biggio has done on the replay to this point. Biggio hitting 111. He's 2 out of 18. No homers or runs driven in. So Biggio against MacArthur. It's a 3-9 for Biggio, and that's a strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts for MacArthur. He's about ready to book him, as it would say. And Davis Schneider is the last available hope, but he will be called back, and Kevin Kiermaier will pinch hit. So they've used everybody. Kiermaier's the last guy off the bench for the Blue Jays. Kevin Kiermaier. If it does go to the bottom of the ninth, they can put Kiermaier in center and move Varsho to left to cover the spot formerly held by Schneider. So they're pulling all the stops the best they can. So Kevin Kiermaier, last available player off the bench, hitting for Schneider. Kiermaier on the replay is hitting 300. He's 3 for 10, no homers and a run driven in. Not much of a power threat unless we get a 312 or a 3-2. That's about the only chances he's got there. So Kiermaier, pinch hitting. Get a 5-4 left-handed, and that's a ballpark blast for Kiermaier. And he does have the normal power. It's a 1-4, though, and that's a 17, so that's just going to be a deep fly to right, and your ball game is over. So Kiermaier gave it a ride, but not enough of a ride, and that's the ball game. Toronto hangs on. Kansas City hangs on for an 8-7 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. Kansas City proves to 6-3. Toronto drops to 3-6. Enzo, this is a scheduled game in the Demolition League. Game number 45 in the Demolition League. All right, so let's get the totals here. 8 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Kansas City. 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Toronto. Winning pitcher is Angel Zerpa. He's now 1-1. Losing pitcher is going to be Tim Meza, and he drops to 1-1. And the save goes to James MacArthur, his third. So he will record his third save of the season. He has saved 3 of the 6 Kansas City wins. So now, with this game being over, game 45, we flip the script, and we get new opponents coming up in the schedule block. We go to schedule block number 4, and trying to see if I've still got that paper handy with the schedule on it. It's probably got buried under all my other stuff, most likely. Wouldn't surprise me. I got way too much stuff on this chair with 2 replays going and some other stuff going on too with History Maker. So could be all kinds of stuff going on here. So I may just have to I just have to give it to it verbally because I don't see the piece of paper here with the schedule on it. So, and by the way, Bobby Witt Jr., player of the game, 3 for 4 with 5 runs batted in based on that grand slam. So we look at the standings after 9 games. First place tie between the Dodgers and the Twins at 7-2. Kansas City stands alone at 6-3. Oakland and San Diego are 5-4. Pittsburgh is at 4-5. The Yankees, Toronto, and Cubs are all at 3-6. And lowly Miami is at 2-7. So as we look to game 46 and the start of a new schedule block, the new schedule block will find these opponents. Oakland will be at Toronto. Minnesota will be at Miami. San Diego will be at New York. The Dodgers will be in Pittsburgh, and the Cubs will be in Kansas City. Next game, we will be in Yankee Stadium for the San Diego Padres against the New York Yankees. That'll be the next game in the replay tomorrow night, most likely. It'll be the Padres and the Yankees. Not sure the pitching matchup yet because I got to see if any of the 4 starters need rest or whether we need to use a 5th starter or whatever. In the meantime, from this game, Bowden Francis is going to be out 10 games, so the Blue Jays will need to replace him. And Kansas City will need to replace Carlos Hernandez, who's out for 2 games. So I'll take care of all that stuff when the time comes. Probably maybe when I leave here after it closes down, I might go ahead and do it now while it's fresh in my head before I go to bed. But anyway, that's it. It's a wild one here. Looked like it's going to be a blowout, but Toronto, to their credit, hung in there and made it a game and just couldn't quite get past the finish line. So I do appreciate hold on, let me see what you're asking here. Oh, each team plays 54 games. So that's why there's 270 total games. Each team now has played 9. They've got 45 more games to go. There are a total of 18 different 3-game series. We've completed schedule block 3. So we got schedule block 4 coming up. And then all the way up to schedule block 18, where each team will play each other 3 games at home and 3 games on the road. The Strat-O-Matic computer made the schedule for me, so I just went with whatever it came up with. So I believe Minnesota and Miami are going to play each other for the 2nd time already and get their series over with, but that's fine by me. Doesn't matter to me as long as they play this, the right 54 games for the whole season. It doesn't matter. So anyway, do appreciate everybody who stopped by, and tomorrow morning, if you're around or listening or whatever, we're back to the 1987 replay. We'll be at Yankee Stadium as the Seattle Mariners will take on the New York Yankees. It'll be Mike Moore against Rick Rhoden. That'll be the matchup tomorrow morning in the 1987 replay. I believe that will be game number 310, 3rd game on the May 28th block. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.